Fight me.
This shows the talent, that we have within the league. It shows still progression within the league. I'm very proud of how what both guys have done because they're making their mark for the league, and I think it really helps the growth of the league, which is harder from a player standpoint. 6 championships by all means.
Take one more. Go ahead.
That was His Airness Michael Jordan responding to a question about what he thought of what Russell Westbrook and James Harden have done respectively. Russell Westbrook, 11 straight triple-doubles, first of his kind, first of his name. James Harden with more 30-point games than there are days of the month, and yet we're still having this conversation about who the NBA MVP is because, quite honestly, it's going to be fierce. There is no getting around that. But we got to mention some guys that just aren't going to make it into the final tally, like Nikola Jokic. That guy is the best big man not named Anthony Davis. He's taken the Denver Nuggets from a fighter for a 7th seed to a disruptor in the West. He has assisted on 38% of his teammates' buckets, which is obscene for a center. That is a guy that is absolutely dropping dimes. And as much as y'all hate it, Kevin Durant is averaging 27 points, 7 boards, 6 assists a game on a Warriors team that seems locked up for another title. And he carried that team when Steph was hurt. But the guy, ain't even the best at his position. That's Paul George, and we'll get into that in a little bit. You can talk about Kawhi Leonard, Toronto Raptors, who are filthy because he's filthy. He's averaging 27 a game, which is a career high. He seems very, very happy to be in Toronto, which might be a ringing indictment of San Antonio. And he's shooting 49% from the field, 36% from beyond the arc, and 86% from the line. Problem is, Toronto is 13-3 when Leonard doesn't play, which is kind of like a Kyrie situation at the Boston Celtics, where you kind of like, what are you doing if you don't need Kyrie to win, or Kawhi to win, right? K's, man. Now, I can include Russ as an honorable mention here, but I can't in all good conscience give an MVP vote to a guy that had 44, 14, and 11 against the Pelicans in a loss when you didn't even play the half against Anthony Davis. I can't do it, but I can totally see Russ has been awesome for Oklahoma City without Roberson or Sophilosha like defender. And with the 11 consecutive triple-doubles speaks for itself. It's just nasty. But the 3 guys that we really need to pay attention to here, first one is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is the best player on the best team, which is usually who the MVP goes to. His squad is 43-14 at the All-Star break with the league's best defense. He's on pace to be the first player to average 27, 12, and 6 since Oscar Robertson did it 57 years ago. Good grief. I mean, we're talking about the love child of young Shaq and Miami-era LeBron. He's that kind of dude. And if he starts to knock down these threes at a stupid rate, we're going to rewrite the record book again because we're talking about a guy that has more than 75 blocks and 75 steals. The only other guy in the NBA doing that is Andre Drummond. Shout out to him. But he ain't been doing what James Harden is doing. Now, I understand you're not into James Harden as an MVP, but here's the thing, man. He's having a year, too. As much as y'all hate it, he's averaging the 8th highest points per game of anybody in history. And the most since MJ. That's ridiculous. The man had a 50-point triple-double in December. Matter of fact, since December 13th, he's averaged 41.5 points, 7.6 boards, and 7.4 assists. And that step back is the filthiest thing on earth. It's lethal. Lest we all forget, again, more 30-point games consecutively than there are days of the month. Problem is, so ball dominant that when the Rockets aren't making threes, it looks like Harden is just having a Westbrook-like 3-for-21 night. Again, Russ is a force of nature. He's a constant battering ram and an offensive force, but so is James Harden. When you know that guy is just going to get to the line, the defense as a psyche just goes through the floor. It's like, look, I'm doing everything I know how to do. How do I end up fouling this man, get him to the free throw line? Hey, he's taking advantage of the rules, right? But Paul George is having the statistically best season of his life. He is the best player for the Oklahoma City Thunder with a teammate who's averaging 22, 11, and 11. Think about that. And he's not even the emotional center of this team. As a matter of fact, you could say that he's the KD of this Thunder squad. It's just that Russ happens to like Paul George in a way that he doesn't like Kevin Durant, or didn't seem to like Kevin Durant. I mean, 29, 8, and 4 this season. 29 points, 8 boards, 4 assists for a small forward that is in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. I know there's some folks that hate the term two-way player in basketball because you play offense and defense. This ain't football, but he's a two-way player. And he's shooting better than 40% from 3 with nearly 10 attempts a game. So he's not taking a small amount of three-pointers, and he's just dropping the hammer on people. Problem is, he's the best player on maybe the 6th best team in the league. And having Russ on your squad does not help you win the MVP. However, you have to say to this point, the MVP of this league ain't any of these guys. It's Adam Silver. It's the commissioner. We're talking about the NBA. The NBA is fun. Anthony Davis trade talks dominated Super Bowl week. Adam Silver's opening a league in Africa. He is trying to make basketball the global game that soccer is to many. He's also the most likable commissioner in sports today, which is not an easy thing to do. How many folks like Roger Goodell? The owners, so 32 people on earth. How many people know who the commissioner of baseball is? Baseball people. I know it's Rob Manfred. But if you're talking about what they've been able to do for their sports, if you're talking about how much players and coaches enjoy this man, you have to be talking about the lawyer who went to Duke. One of the cool dudes on the planet who can go through these NBA drafts and dap it up with the best of them. That man's dap game is superior, especially when he doesn't get to rehearse any of this stuff. Like if they go in for the hug, he goes in for the hug. If they go in for the fist pound, he goes in for the fist pound. I'll bet he could keep up with the kid and play. I'll bet he could DJ Jazzy Jeffett and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air all at the same time. I think he got it like that. But that's kind of the point of this weekend, this all-star weekend where, man, we saw Hamidou Diallo stick his chicken wing in the bucket and then show the S on his chest, which is ridiculous. We saw Trae Young nearly win the skills competition, but what I love most about the skills competition is that Trae Young refused to lose to Luka. He said, nah. I know y'all comparing me to this cat for the rest of my life. I am not about to drop the skills challenge to Luka Doncic. But you also got to see Luka. They had him mic'd up, and it was one of the best things about the weekend. He was running up and down the court talking about, look at me, I'm De'Aaron Fox. He's having such a good time. And then the three-point contest, man, who is Joe Harris? Like, tell the truth, shame the devil, Corey. Did you know who Joe Harris was?
Nah, only because I play 2K. That's the only reason I knew him. That's the only reason.
Bro, I need to get back on my 2K. I stay on that Destiny. I stay with the Titan throwing these hammers. But Joe Harris, I had to look it up. Dude plays for the Nets. Dude is Mr. Washington basketball. Dude played at UVA. But I'm like, who is Joe Harris? I thought Steph was going to win this thing. And that's kind of the cool part about the All-Star Weekend is that now folks know Joe Harris's name. Folks that don't live in the Oklahoma City area or in Oklahoma now know Hamidou Diallo's name. And the way that this has been able to unfold, this is the most fun All-Star Weekend in sports. It's the most fun All-Star game in sports. We watch it. We enjoy it. We like that the players get up for it. We enjoy the East versus West competitions when they were. Now, we got this added drama of captains picking like we at the Y and then trading players. Like, you couldn't trade no players at the Y. Be like, you can't trade me. What? I'm not a commodity. I'm not a future on the stock market. Nah, you stuck with me, and you know I'm just going to be up here jacking. I'm 5'5". I'm not, I'm up here taking 33-footers, and I'm saying, hey, what you want me to do? You want me to go in there with them trees? I share a birthday with Hamidou Diallo. You know what I don't share with that man? His vertical. Man. Look, I appreciate that he just kind of went for the win with his last 2 dunks. But come on, dog. Like, first, you jumping over Shaq, and you didn't need any leverage, and you stuck your chicken wing in the bucket, and then you like, yo, Quavo, can you stand right here right quick? And then you go jump over Quavo like it's nothing. And what I hate about this is that you got Dwayne Wade, Quavo, you got Shaq just dapping it up after these dudes jumped over their heads. Man, if you need me in the back of the head, we'd be fighting. We would be so rough. But look, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more college football. We're going to talk about what Lincoln Riley needs to see in his quarterbacks, which I found interesting. But as we get out of here, I want to direct you to AmericanPutterCompany.com and the website. They put up some new stuff, some great head covers, free shipping. You need a divot tool? Go check it out. You need a custom putter? Go check it out. Use the promo code RJYoung at checkout. American Putter Company, presenting sponsor of this show, and they hate Texas. Tells you where their allegiance lies. This is Fight Me with RJ Young. We'll be right back.